export Luawogo. And I am happy he's back here because he's angry for no reason. I told him here the last time he appeared that he needed to be cleared by the family to contest for NRM vice chairman. He said no. Was he not ordered to get out? So you that patronizing attitude of thinking you are above everybody, so people are there on your mercy, and that's how we walk into cabinet to give lectures. So you want to come to Capital Gang and give lectures. That you need to stop. You are a human being like any other. So, marrying from the first family doesn't make you an angel. The starting point is the arbitrariness.
Okay.
I am a member of parliament. My job is to approve government policy, government departments. Every budget that comes to parliament comes with a list of government employees, and I approve them because that's my job. Luawogo is one of them because I see him on the payroll as a presidential advisor. So the point, Oscar, is that you have a government that they have themselves made ineffective. After making it ineffective, they sit somewhere, they begin criticizing their own government. This country is interesting. You're part of government, you're saying it is uncoordinated, it is ineffective. For you, who are you? Why don't you become the Minister for Trade, a formal institution, and do these things in a formal structure? But you create your own kiosk somewhere because of your relationship with the president, and then you begin looking over everybody. You are the one in charge of export. Kofi, the first time Luawogo appeared before the committee on budget, we were in Munyonyo. That time he was vending coffee, this man of Ntungam. And he said they needed $100 million. We want Parliament that the moment you begin approving this money, you will not come to an end. The first amount of money they took was $35 million, 35 billion. They came back. I think now as I speak to you, they are at about 120. They are coming for more in the budget that we are processing. You make yourself look like angels. Just Oscar, I don't have to be any expert. Give me the amount of money they are taking, giving it to Ntungam, and I will do better than Ntungam. So the point is that export promotion you have, as Agatha has said, you have the Export Promotions Board. If it lacks the human resource, why don't you employ it there? Why must it go to the first family? For me, that's the problem. And that's what Luawogo must be answering. What specific qualification does he have to be the one in charge of export that the people in Export Promotions Board don't have? But two, they have been part of this government for as long as they have been there. The government they are now criticizing as being ineffective. Do we make the discovery at 40 years that now we have to start afresh with Luawogo and Mohozi, who is kidnapping Ede Mutwe and celebrating on Twitter, and that's what you're offering to the country? Oscar, these statistics I have given you here are not my own statistics. This country, 46% of the population of Uganda, 60% of the population is in agriculture, 46% of the population are food insecure, either severely or moderately. Is that the work of Semu Uganda? So if I say it here, just quoting your own official government book, so I become a liar. Because the statistics was here, they told you 46% of the population is either moderately or severely food insecure. I told Parliament, and I'll be making a response, this PDM, if you read the report of the census, only we have so far now released 3 trillion shilling. Only 800,000 people have benefited because they are picking one person for 1 million shilling per a household. The analysis I'm doing on budget, Oscar, and when I am done, you will allow me to become to sit where Luawogo is sitting now as a shadow minister and give you the figures.
Were you reading from your notes, Honorable Semijo?
No, I was taking notes when Luawogo was speaking, thinking that there will be something to respond to, which I didn't find. So I am
creating your own.
I am responding to government official information. So we are about to finish the budget, Oscar. You have about 14 million people in Uganda, because for me, I don't want to quote households, counting Mabati and structures. I want to count human beings. That's why I said when you are reading these statistics, have a calculator. They are going to confuse you with the households. If you do your own mathematics, you have about 14 million Ugandans, Oscar, who are poor, people who can't feed themselves. When you are dividing the national budget, people who work for government, the Auditor General put them at 390,000. I saw the president putting them at 480. So you have two figures that you need to reconcile. But whether they are half a million, they represent 1% of the total population. When you look at the budget figures, 11 trillion, because they earn 8.3 trillion in the budget. Then the other attendant costs, vehicles, it comes to about 11 point something trillion, which is 16% of the national budget. When you subtract the 27, which is 38%, 27 trillion, 38% of the budget for debt servicing. And then the most annoying thing is that collectively, the ones who earn 11 point something trillion fuel their vehicles to go and inspect about 14 million people who they have given 1 trillion, and they begin asking them why they are not getting wealth. Ruwaboga and others, you need to ask yourself, how comes you who are in charge of wealth, you are the only ones getting wealth? People who are in charge of creating wealth. Okay. That's why people keep tracking to you for money, physical money now. So the policies of government are ordinarily not bad policies, but the implementation is different. They will come on show here and throw statistics in your face of households, of what and what. The actual people in the villages, Oscar, are suffering. If you read the report, the recent report of the population census, community access roads are impassable. In fact, those who are growing their crops, you see, we can't even take them to the market.
Thank you, Samuel. Let me go to John.
Thank you. I'll start from the substance. At independence, Uganda used to export coffee, cotton, tea, copper and grain. If I look at our export performance now, we are still pretty much dealing with the same things: coffee, cotton, copper, gold, we hope oil and so on. So I think the biggest challenge for us as a country is how to transition. And we cannot transition in everything. And I see sometimes the president, because you see, if you've traveled, people want to take their coffee fresh. They want you to grind it when they are there. Now, if you say we are going to add value to coffee, those people don't run Nescafe. They want actual, so it means we have to study each crop and see how best we are going to compete.
I also don't want Nescafe.
Per value chain. Then the other issue is around our export performance. Our export performance has improved. The trade deficit is decreasing. We are seeing an increase in exports to about 789.
How much has it improved due to Ruwabogo's work?
No, but it's a contributor. You see, you can't, even if it's accidental.
You say you don't.
No, even if it's accidental. The question. You see, we must give credit. You see, the point here is that we must, even if I don't like you, but you're good looking, I should be able to say you're good looking, isn't it? So, whether or not, we cannot, at this point, we cannot. How much? No, you're asking me causation. We're asking me causation. Mr. Semuju, you're asking causation.
I have your microphone on.
You're asking causation. Here we are talking about correlation. Correlation is there's an increase in exports, and Ruwabogo is somewhere in that picture.
We will ask him.
The extent of his contribution, I cannot say because I'm not his spokesperson.
Okay.
So what we see is an increase in exports, and we are seeing an increase particularly of exports of coffee, a 22%, almost a doubling of export volumes in this regard. So I would say that we are performing but not performing well. One, we are still exporting raw commodities. Two, we are still exporting to the region. The bulk of exports are going to the region. We are not able to take advantage of the African Continental Free Trade Area. We are not taking advantage of other markets. We're seeing the issues with AGOA and the US market. So I think we need to do more, especially to tilt towards the Asian market. Because what you see from the statistics that we are starting with export more to the UAE and to Asia. So for me, if I was looking at an export development strategy, I would look there. And I'd also say that I help the Export Promotions Board to develop a strategy for export of education services. We must move away from the Trump theory of thinking exports are goods. Because Trump thinks that they have a trade deficit because they have a trade deficit in goods, yet they have a trade deficit in services. So Uganda, we must create a very strong positioning in the services sector. If you're looking at education, looking at tourism is very volatile, because for tourism, if you have a political event, if you have this, but we must have position ourselves in certain areas. Is it health?
If you
is it
beat up
education?
journalists, tourism goes down.
Yeah. So there's a bit of volatility there. Now, in terms of PACID and its mandate and so on, I would say this because I'm in the sector, I'm in the private sector, I've seen them evolve. They've done some good work around the studies, because we're working with UNDP on the issue of export readiness and accessing markets, and PACID came in and they've done some studies for some markets. South Africa, I know they did for Algeria and other things. They've also done some trade missions. But what I think PACID needs to do better is to coordinate more with sector actors. Don't operate in isolation, because you see the issue is if you operate in isolation, you don't institutionalize, you don't support the institutions to perform better long term. You can be the star, but at the end of the day you're not you see in Manchester United, Ferguson had to let Beckham go because he felt because Beckham was doing very well at some point, it was a disadvantage to the performance of the entire team. So my encouragement to them is PACID, use your convening power to ensure that we have these discussions. And it's actually a good thing, actually, Mr. Rwabugo being the expert. I've spent 20 years, but the level of attention that exports are garnering now is nothing compared to what we've been seeing in the last year. So in effect, it's a good thing that is doing, but I think they can make some improvements and iterations here and there.
Lydia, yes. Before Lydia comes on.
So Uganda's exports, it's true, have improved in terms of money we get from exports to $8.5 billion currently. Now, those exports, the two main ones responsible for that are coffee and gold.
Correct.
The reason for money in coffee increasing to around, I think, $11.5 billion now. I mean $1.5 billion now from 700 million is the global coffee prices that have increased over the last 3 years. I would
saying it is not from our delivery.
No, that's an assumption. At this point, it's an assumption.
No. Wait, John. I took notes and you can respond later. What I would like to know is what PACID has contributed to that. Okay. The gold for gold it's also
your microphone is open.
it's also now at 3.4 billion from 1 billion about 2-3 years ago, but it is also because the global prices in gold have been going up since 2021. Uganda's exports, the 80% are agriculture. We would like to know what has been done in agriculture to improve or increase both quantity and quality. And he talked about standard, what innovation, research, modern technology are what improves standard. What we've seen is a bottle irrigation, is PDM, people finding one goat, one pig. We would like to know in all this what has PACID contributed, and it forms part of my first questions earlier. Thank you.
Moses Byaruhanga, OSM Nekira Municipality MP, is saying that the report states that 25 million people are in the category of working age, and according to him, that age starts at 14. Definitely, this includes students, because on average, one leaves university at around 23. So of 25 in the working age, if 9 are employed, doesn't mean the rest are unemployed. And he wants to, let me first inform Agatha that the increase in earnings from coffee are a result of both increase in the international prices and the volumes Uganda is exporting. We have coffee volumes going up. It is because government through OWC gave out free seedlings. Kaunga Masiko says we have 39,000 tourists in Uganda. Kenya has 630. And he sends a long quote here that asserts that maybe Odrek does not even know Chikomando. So, but you know,
I see.
The man doesn't talk.
No, listen.
We need to give him time to talk.
Byaruhanga wants even to deny statistics in the official government book because they are mentioned by SMU. The national labor policy is 1464. It's not my policy.
Odrek Rwabugo. You've had responses across
So
the table.
thank you very much. I just stopped because I thought I should yield the floor. I hadn't explained a number of things, so now I hope I am able to do. So let's just quickly go to, when I say something, I hope Agatha answers your question, or Nganda, who doesn't want to listen. So when we began this work on 16th of March 2022, our total exports as a country just outside COVID, after COVID, was $4.2 billion. When we took the 7 to 10 markets where we put trade reps, where we conducted some survey and took certain orders, products, the increase between now, I think, and then is more than 1.8. You said 8.5, but the official statistics are around 7.4. So that 1.5 comes from first awareness. So you did not have a market called the Balkans. The Balkans, under then Yugoslavia, signed with us on September 10th, 1963. That agreement was never put to use until July 2023. And we are now going to expand it to cover cocoa, to cover vanilla, to cover cassava. And next week, we have the first shipment of a 20-foot container ready to drink, shelf roasted coffee from Uganda on that market. And so if I take the market of the US, we were very general. So we know we take casein, we take cocoa. So we focused on cities like Detroit. Detroit has ordered, when I say Detroit, it's a city, but we have off-takers there. The first roasted coffee, espresso, ready to drink, 230,000 sachets of that coffee. Detroit was not your market for roasted coffee. We did not have cities like Chicago. Chicago, we have a trade representative, and we know north of Chicago, in a place called Aurora, there is a Ugandan farm, Ugandan US farm with roasted coffee we're supporting. I don't want to take a lot of time per market, but I could go to UK, where you had absolutely zero presence in terms of awareness. See, when I say awareness, when you have a trade rep, they work with local supermarkets, they work with local media. The issue has been that we are not able to get these supplies on time in the right quantities, but I told you what else we're doing to fix that. We didn't have significant presence in Kinshasa. We were in Eastern Congo. Just before the war broke out, we were 50% done on setting up a trade hub in Kinshasa, and hope we can pull it off even with the issues there are. So in each of these markets, Oscar, we have presence, we have teams, we have orders, and we have companies that supply those orders. We think, and we are not working in a market that has data, easy to collect data, but I can tell you, when we conduct survey in Lamo, in Omoro, in Lira, on Simsim, and we take an order of 100,000 metric tons, I don't want to mention names of people, we know how much that will go to China and how much that contributes to our net income that wasn't there. So, significant focus on exports, on really bringing some sort of compelling thinking and doing an ecosystem, because you really, when you hear people speak, it's as if this one has all the knowledge to do this one, no. Ecosystem thinking means that he who grows something, he who transports it, he who certifies it, he who represents you as an ambassador, he who communicates on social media, they are united around your product and your brand as a country. And we try and work that out. I can mention more trade locations, but we don't have time. So I just need to go to, in our culture, there are certain codes and social norms. When a man who is supposedly a leader lies, let me just start with simple things. Wawogo walked to Chankwanzi. He was not tested, and he just speaks to cabinet. So let me tell you how we ended up in Chankwanzi, and then I'll come back to. Yeah. So what?
Let him respond.
What? Mm-hmm. Of course, I have the certificates. I don't know really. I have all the. Yes, because you said
he has decided to produce.
No. Well, this certificate was on 9th of July. Our meeting was on 11th, and I have a list of the people I went with. They are all government officials. You have the media center. I can read them for you. If
it is not necessary.
Okay.
Please continue.
Why were we there? So if you take a look at the reporting of Uganda food products on the global market, it's amazing that we still get sales on the market. So you have suspected penis found in restaurant food. So you are in China, you are talking about meat, because we had a 20,000 metric ton order of meat, and this is reported in your newspaper called Monitor. You have another one in New Vision that says almost similar things. You know, NDA looked away as AIDS drug was fed to animals. These things, I meet them in boardrooms. The only way to deal with them is to say, Minister of Health, before you issue a warning on Ebola, contact tourism people so that their orders are not cancelled. Minister of Agriculture, before a story like this comes to and stories will always come out, before it does happen, please be careful that your scientists have certified what you say. Because of that, we needed to have what you call one whole government type of communication. So we had people from ICT, we had people from agriculture, and we were asking about a way you speak about the country, not its individuals. We will be commissioning this committee very soon. We are not stopping, so that we have a centralized way to communicate. So that's as basic as it is. Lie. Now, you came to Munyonyo carrying people, and you asked for money. Uganda. Very, very, very interesting person. So we were 6 different sectors. We had coffee, we had tourism, we had dairy, we had beef, we had fruits and vegetables. Total we were 12. Why did we come? Because we had spent time with UNDP trying to raise an export credit funding that would be private sector driven. We had on 19th of April 2023 brought UNDP, PSFU, private equity funds in front of the president, and we said, if we raise $5 million, can you match it, sir? This is how $10 million happened. Why were we together? We were looking to set up a fund that supports everyone, not coffee alone. That fund did not come to us, the idea we had did not mature. So this money was given to STI, Minister of Science and Technology, and it went to one entity. Should I stop helping other sectors just because one sector has taken the funds? What was the spirit of us coming there? To ask you as responsible members of parliament to think about when you wake up, how many farms, FI, RMS, are you saving? We said, if you match this amount of money by a particular amount, we will run it professionally. We will ensure that it has some minimum interest charges. We will ensure that it will be export order driven. If you don't have an export order, you can't use it. What did Nganda and my sister from Sembawule do? They just said nothing. They left the meeting without speaking. They went to parliament, and the next thing I heard, Wawogo is leading a delegation to take money because of... So, we didn't take money. We didn't take money. I just want those who are listening to us and who know me, who know who we are, never is a dollar, is in our organization of that money. That money went to a coffee consortium led by one company. That coffee consortium did not approach the idea the way we wanted. So I stepped out of the country in Uganda. I went to Dallas, Texas. I held a session with our trade reps. We put up a target of $350 million. One thing led to another. We found a way to raise small amounts of money in the US and in the Middle East. So far, and you can go and check this, we have supported 10 companies in Kenya, supplying to Kenya, to Dubai, to China. They are here. They are in various sectors. This money is not from your parliament, the one you insult me in. No. We found that if we can't do it in a transparent way, we will just handle it another way. And we're making progress on that.
Semoj, you actually had a discussion with Rwabogo.
You know, Rwabogo was in New Vision when I was at Mond. I am not meeting a stranger.
Okay, it's okay.
You know
Listen,
it,
let's focus on
let's, I want us to, I'd planned to talk about Kenya naming, BBC naming.
So for me,
yeah, but
Oscar,
just finish off.
Oscar,
But I need to respond also.
the fact that a factory or one factory takes this money, or that there is a factory in Tungamo, shouldn't be the issue. The factory in Tungamo can account for what it did. I have asked actually that young man to call a press conference and say, what did you do? That should not stop
We
me.
invited him, he didn't come.
So, but if you go to Arua, I am very excited that a person called Kermundo is planting more coffee. If you go to Gulu, you will find the General Tema plant. The fact that we should have more factories or coffee or products across the country should not be an issue. It is the accountability that you should think
Correct.
about. So really, what's the future of the work we are trying to do? If I can, I don't know if I answered you, Agatha. What's the mandate of PASAID? So
Coordinating those that already existing.
You just don't understand that. So I took a truck in 2019 of milk. I crossed 3 borders. My milk was put up, down 4 times. I lost the consignment. When I returned, I had no insurance. I had no institution to turn to. I asked myself, who does this and survives as a company? So it's a cause, it's a calling. I'm not doing it for a job. I don't need a job, not at all. I do it for a cause because if I can save businesses by my own experience, I will do it. So this committee is an advisory committee to the president on industry, on exports, to bring some fresh thinking on how you coordinate and create an ecosystem. What is legal about me ensuring that our products are in Dubai or our products are in Texas?
Okay.
If you are going to use public resources,
That's
there
the
is
issue.
absolutely listen.
Yeah.
We have 32 people on my team. We have 7 consultants. We have trade reps. We have 0 money in the as a budget item. We report to the president's office. Our budgets are audited. We are less than 3 billion, all of us, in a year. So when someone says you have $10 million, you have it, I find it insulting.
Semoj, 1 minute, because I want to change topic.
I want to thank Rwabogo, Oscar.
There are big topics.
He has confirmed.
We will stay with him and discuss after
He
that.
has confirmed everything I said here. 1, he came to Munyonyo leading a group. 2, they asked for money.
What was the intent of heading the group? Why are you... Oscar, I was in Chirinya.
Rwabogo, you must...
Chirinya is his constituency.
Yes.
I went to see a 90-year-old man. Chirinya has 1,700 kids in primary schools. And it has like 2-3 schools. They have no technical college. I never went to criticize this man. He never had me on radio. I went to do a
I
job.
know what you did when you came to my village.
Why is it
correcting
that, why is
NRM
it that
MPs
you,
and organizing
no, no,
them
no,
to
I'm
defeat
not really
Ssemujju.
going to allow you.
I know why you came.
No. To continue.
Oscar,
saying
can you
it-
ask Rwabogo to be modest?
You
Let him listen.
We don't sit anywhere as a family. I'm not a family. I have brain on my head.
I told
I
you
am
here,
married.
I
I
told
have
you
a-
here
I
when
have
you are
4
saying the family
children.
cannot stop you contesting. Didn't they stop you?
But how is that to do with exports?
No, I'm talking about
Why
the
are
family.
you touching all over the place?
Please ask
What
Rwabogo
was the intention of us
If
being
he doesn't
in
know how to
Munyonyo?
listen, let him
We
run.
were in Munyonyo because we came helping companies.
Thank you very much.
So
That's what
what's
I
the-
am
what's the
saying.
problem with that?
That's what I'm saying. That you came to Munyonyo leading a group, you asked for money.
Yeah.
In the budget committee where I am a
Help
member.
company.
But I never got the money in the budget.
It does not matter. You came and asked for it. Didn't you come
So-
to Munyonyo? So where is the lie?
Even
Honorable
without
Ssemujju.
that money,
I
we have
put it
saved
in my
companies,
report that Rwabogo led a team. They found us in a retreat of budget committee, asked for money.
Okay.
I asked Parliament not to give public money to private enterprises, but they were fearing Rwabogo. He needed to be there when he came.
Ssemujju.
MPs were falling on each other to greet him.
That's so
Ssemujju.
painful. Ssemujju, you
So
are
let me-
not-
let me
the
ask-
second thing.
Hold on, let me
no,
ask
no,
for Rwabogo.
No, you are saying the lie. Yes.
Hold on.
Yes.
So if I came to ask for money to support companies, for where do you have a problem with it?
The problem I explained to Parliament, I want to explain again.
Yes.
We have put more than 100 billion shilling taxpayers' money in Tugume's company with no relationship at all.
With the government of Uganda.
This is money collected from people who pay taxes. Not even a memorandum of understanding. But we just keep dumping their money. For me as a legislator, if that insults Rwabogo, I will continue doing so.
Also, Oscar needs
Yes.
to know that he cannot walk as Oscar and go to Parliament and ask for money.
Certainly.
So what the budget committee does, or Parliament,
now let him
interfaces
respond to
with
it so that we
institutions.
have
Respond to what? He has already...
Let him
Institutions.
talk for 2
Respond
minutes.
to what, Oscar?
No,
can
no,
I
no.
can I respond? You gave
Now,
me the
yes.
opportunity to respond.
Now-
you're saying you should
Now you are
respond.
finished.
Why don't you talk about genital parts in food?
Let me
Are you happy with that?
let me go to the second thing.
I really want to stop this.
But you
topic.
gave me time to speak,
Yeah.
and then you are
But
appropriating it to
you like
Rwabogo.
the next topic.
So I
No,
am
no,
bringing
let's
to
go
you
to-
the
let's go
food
to-
authority. You
let's
as
go
a member
to-
of parliament.
let's
you,
go to
you pass it so
Chankwan's.
that you can solve some problems.
The
huh?
issue I spoke about Chankwan's, he likes discussing smaller things, was the issue of Mr. Museveni calling a cabinet retreat. He takes a break, he leaves his wife chairing. As they are there, a son-in-law appears. And I said, you guys, you must respect the country. That you are the only family where the president chairs, then the wife takes a turn, then an in-law comes. That was the issue. Whether you went with the COVID, whether what, even if you surrender 100 COVID tests.
now that you have got
That's
it
the
natural.
issue I was talking about.
Audrey Rwabogo.
Oscar,
Yeah.
Oscar, I find it childish that in the 21st century, people who have capacity to work like me, people who have a little bit of sense of where the country should go, are seen from a point of who they are married from, which family they come from. If you know the family I come from, you'll be surprised.
But
You'll be
Audrey,
very surprised at
Audrey,
where
you
are
Audrey,
not far from me
Audrey.
in terms of. Yeah.
But Audrey,
So-
you also
so
missed
I do
the
not-
point. You missed the point.
I-
The point these people are making, even though they shout too much,
Is to
your
go
microphone
is to go to Parliament and
that
ask
you
for.
have ability to go to Parliament and ask for money, and I can't.
So Oscar, let me tell you,
Yeah.
this is absolutely weird. Any citizen of our country can write to a Speaker of Parliament and ask to meet a committee of Parliament and present a position.
Right. Okay.
So if that
You have
money,
answered that.
yes,
He has answered.
That's not true.
So, Agatha, in the media, I wanted to have a discussion, and it will affect Audrey's response as well. The Kenyan, BBC Kenya, named 3 officers that shot people. Actually, I don't know why they were advertising it like that, because now when I went to the report, they named 1. But all the listeners were telling me, you have said Kenya named, why can't we name in Uganda? And in Uganda, we didn't name the people that were in Kawempe, but in Uganda, we have one who has named himself, that he has someone in the basement teaching him Runyankore. So how do we get past that? And Ssemujju that accuses Rwabogo of having family meetings. Maybe that's what they need to discuss in family meeting. You are on now.
Before you should change me, I'll say one last thing, and I hope Audrek can respond to it later. He told us about places he has created awareness in for our exports, and says they account for the 1.5 billion increase over the years. Now, when you look at destinations for Uganda's exports, they have not changed. It is still Kenya, South Sudan, DRC, I think Netherlands, and I'm going to also say that
so you're contesting his work.
For coffee, I'm not contesting. I'm just saying it's possible there's work, but it can't be what has contributed, has made this
Right.
increase in exports now.
Now go.
No, yeah. So
you're done with that.
So I'll share
Now
with all of you
yes. We shall share with
the
Audrek
April
as well.
2025 coffee export destinations, where in Serbia, the Balkans, where they put a hub, what
Okay,
they
you
call a
said you
trade
will
hub.
share.
It doesn't contribute to that. I thought you should know that. And for Moses Byalhanga, who says that it was increased by Operation Wealth Creation, we can also credit Uganda with their campaign Mwanyeterimba and whatever, and the Katikiro. But anyway, so now going to that topic. First of all, whatever Mr. Rwabogo is doing, it is high, like over 50% affected by what you're talking about. You are not going to promote tourism in a country where they are beating up citizens for no reason, they are beating up journalists, and a commander of defense forces is coming every day to boast about torturing people and holding them, and no one holds him accountable. So you're talking about the BBC documentary in Kenya. So one is that investigation has taken almost a year. Maybe even last year we will have something to name them. You saw that because there have been many cases that have been taken by individuals under the Human Rights Enforcement Act to hold perpetrators of these violations individually, in their individual capacities. But also there's been a lot of shaming and naming on social media. And sort of trying to tell people that this is the person accountable. When that happened, these so-called security officers started coming with masks. When this question was asked, the State Minister for Internal Affairs in Parliament said it's not proper. They should because that's what the law is. If you're going to arrest someone, identify yourself, show me your badge or whatever, and I know. Because how am I supposed to know that I've been arrested by security officers and not kidnapped by criminals? But the CDF came and said, he doesn't know what he's talking about, and spent 2 days giving us pictures of army officials of other countries that have masks. Now, when you have a country like that, and for me, I cannot tell you how depressed I felt that night when the CDF came and showed us a photo of someone they have tortured. How is it possible that this person is not held accountable?
As a lawyer, should he be charged for threatening? He said he's going to do things to Semuju. The CDF.
Oh, the CDF.
Yeah. CDF. Take him to a public whatever and shoot him.
Do you know how many young Ugandans are in jail for saying for what they call the charge of hate speech? And then for them, hate speech is saying Museveni and his family are ruling us poorly. So why shouldn't he be charged for threatening to kill people?
Is Bikanga Muzameo says the way Semuju is attacking Rwabogo seems he's working for MK. Bikanga, that's the message of the day. 2 minutes.
So you mean there is a problem between Rwabogo and the
microphone. Semuju, your 2 minutes.
And I want to thank you for inviting Rwabogo. Mr. Rwabogo, when you return to your family, please, we are...
Don't you call it clan?
I know that's his constituency. I think the family is his constituency.
Yeah.
You need to help the country.
How?
No, he's talking.
Because you see, Muhoozi Kainerugaba said, I have Edmutwe in my basement. If my father orders me, I will release him. So you want me to appeal to it? I am not insane. The only people who can rein in is the family, because the man keeps referring to the family. Not even the minister. Have you ever heard Kainerugaba referring to the Minister of Defense? His supervisor. In the end of the tweet that if the minister orders me,
does pass outs and so on.
I have said, he said, if my father, not the commander in chief. So please, when you turn to the family, you can export everything that you want, but please allow us space to live in this country peacefully.
I'm glad you accept that I can export everything I want.
Yes, you
We're
can.
coming back to what
I
matters.
thank you.
Good.
But please tell the family, you can't kidnap people. You can't torture people. You've overthrown the constitution and replaced the constitution with yourselves. People who want positions in NRA must trek to northern Uganda to meet Saleh. Others who want money for export must come to you, not to the minister responsible for export. Those who want freedom must trek to Muhoozi Kainerugaba. You are making it very difficult for us to continue living in our country.
Actually, Oscar, Nganda, I work with the Minister of Trade, I work with Agriculture, I work with the permanent secretaries, I work with all these institutions. I'm the most flexible, most amenable human being you can find. But the perception roadblock is what you keep reinforcing when you see Rwabugo as a member of family as this. So, just very, very quickly, market segments, I can prove to you the segment of avocado, the segment of sesame. I can prove to you the segment of catfish in Kinshasa that wasn't there. I can prove to you that markets are not just broad. Markets are segmented, and you can get an old market and expand in it. Oscar, there is no meeting. I am now 55. I have never sat in a meeting, and I have been at every tangential corner of the fight for movements, principles, and values since I was a student in 1992. I have spoken outwardly, forcefully, about values, about principles, about how you grow a country. I have never sat in a family session to make decisions of the country. So people listening, it's a lie from the pit of hell. There is no family session that determines Uganda's fate. A country has cabinet, a country has institutions. Here is what the issue is. When a country is growing, certain segments become contentious. Vietnam, which is a good exporter, I said at the start, countries that have done 50% of their GDP, they are not always democratic. They are really not always democratic. So the thing you need to deal with is, Semuju, don't strengthen this family talk. Strengthen institutional talk. Ask institutions of government to respond to abuses so that they can come and speak to you without fear or favor. Every time you take what is supposed to be for public into family, you are really making it worse.
Okay.
Secondly and finally.
All right. No, don't say finally yet, because I also want to put a direct question to you.
Okay.
So, will you make a phone call? Because you are the family, will you make a phone call and say, release this man? The Human Rights Commissioner, Eddie Mutwe. So you have an opportunity to use family power and say, release this man or take him to
Oscar, I don't think that
court.
we should base decisions of human rights, of communication of a country on phone calls.
Yeah.
That's really the point I'm trying to tell you. It's very important that you hold institutions accountable, because
and you call him and you meet
institutions are
with
not
him.
there. But institutions are not there. They have been overrun.
Let me ask.
No, because Wawogo is in a position where he can communicate.
Let me switch off your phone.
So there are courts.
So can you call him and say, my brother, release this man?
No, I think that you can hold the Minister for Defense and the CDF accountable for any of their yes. Please do not. This idea that. No, what is that? Really? Think about that.
Remember the message from Bikanga. He said you are supposed
I think General Muhoozi has a mouth.
Yeah.
He has an institution he leads,
And he has a phone.
and absolutely. And I think it is very important
And is your
that
brother-in-law.
you take. How is that in terms of government institutions? Yes, of course, as relationally, you need to make sure that if you have to keep the democracy of our country growing, you really charge institutions to deliver, or you hold their leaders accountable. I came here because I want to be held accountable for the work I do.
Yeah.
In exports, in communication, I'm not hidden.
John Kakungulu said that work will not happen if you don't take the strategy of reining in excesses, especially military excesses.
I know some countries in the ASEAN market. I don't want to mention them because we have ambassadors here. Very tenuous politics, very unstable, but those are some of the highest exporters in the world. When social classes change, those institutions' leaders are held accountable. The work I do to try and create jobs for young people, to try and do exports, is to say, shift the thinking, even where we have conflicts like Congo. I am openly speaking about trade, even when I know there are military and other issues. I am leading delegations to speak about our trade hub in the middle of a conflict.
Okay.
Please turn around and know that this work will not be done by Norwegians, it will be done by us, but we must stop lying about each other, we must look for allies, and we must be honest.
Thank you. Agatha, 1 minute.
It seems Mr. Rwabogo gets offended by someone, especially Semuju,
But offend him,
who
it's
likes
okay.
the family issues.
Agatha,
being
offend
called-
Mr. Rwabogo, it's
just
okay.
listen, being called a member of the family, and he wants us to separate him and what he's doing and from that. But I want to assure you that it is because you're President Museveni's son-in-law that you have passed something that, and because I asked about its legal status, he didn't give it to
Okay.
us. No, don't say, okay, let me finish, please.
You are
And you know, so yeah, so if, and don't come and lie to us that any member of the public can go to parliament and ask for money. Money in parliament is appropriated to an institution.
So now you're turning the lies to him.
Let me finish.
We don't have time.
An institution that has an accounting officer that will account for that money. Lastly, he talked about strengthening institutional talk. It's ironical that someone who has come and overridden 5 institutions that I mentioned here, more than 5. No, because you are doing work that is supposed to be done by these
them.
other ones.
Okay. Semuju, 1 minute.
Yeah, the coordination, and I asked that, are you here as a coordinator? I didn't get the answer. But thank you. Let me stop there since you don't want me to conclude. Semuju, please.
So, Oscar, in a conclusion, the moment people who are in government and have access to power overrun institutions of the state, there will be no accountability. I have told you, when Rwabogo led that team, at least into the budget committee meeting in Munyonyo, that was our argument to Parliament with Honorable Mwanga Chivumbi, with whom we presented the report. What do we see? In every subsequent budget, even in the supplementary budgets, there is money going to Gume of a factory, who we don't even have a 1 paragraph commitment. And I don't want to mention the others. I want to limit myself to this one because it was trafficked to Parliament by Rwabogo. So when you are there, even if you are doing good things, do them under the framework that you yourself you set up. Don't do them outside the framework and then you want us to roll red carpets and clap for you. Don't use positions that you have acquired, because Rwabogo, I remember when you were in TAP, you were the one promoting Uganda in America. So for you, how do you get this opportunity and you want to distance yourself from the family that is making decisions?
Ronald says, thank you for annoying Odrek, but he said in Luganda, mumunyiziza nnyo, but he is very good. So he gives you commendations. So he has also given us commendations for Kunyiza. Responding.
And I've been using Odrek Rwabogo's microphone given to him by Oscar.
Odrek, go back on. So, Odrek,
So, Oscar,
I am adding to what John Kakungulu Rugembe said. We want you to use those convening powers, and you convene those people.
It's good.
You convene those people so that we have better security.
I am actually recognizing.
Yes.
So, Oscar, I know a human being to be about their head, and their actions. And I also know that a human being is multidimensional, your family, your community, your value system. I don't have time to speak about those, but I'm really a creature of those where I come from. And so I find it a little insulting to say you cannot lead export drive and change for your country because of your marriage. I find it weird, but that's how our politics has become. Senior presidential advisory on exports, there are 100 presidential advisors. Why is the attention on exports? Because we don't waste time. So Agatha, I want you to know, Agatha, that I could have been born Chinese or Norwegian, and that doesn't change who Rwabugo is. I've been like this for all my life, and therefore, please take heart. This head has some ideas, and these hands and this thinking has a vision. Agatha, this head has a vision for the country, and give it time. Just listen to it. I am sorry I got upset because of... But that's just...
You got upset because of... His microphone is not on.
Secondly, I want us to call people who have taken funds to account. It's not nice for me to come here and speak for so... I've told you, I never took this money. I went out of the country. I've added onto the basket. I'm not a consumer. I am an additive, if I can use that.
In the break, I told you what I cannot say on air.
Yeah, so really, you call Tugume, you call whoever took the funds to account publicly. Please, don't stop me from helping other farms that are struggling. Thirdly, on May 7th, which is next week, you know, we put out reports every year of PASAID work. Our third year report will come out when we are commissioning the track to Sabia. You can read our work and our expenditure, you will be happy. Convening power. Oh, I wish you knew.
That one.
That's why I've gone grey. The melanin in my hair changed in the last 2 years because the cells are not being created anymore because of thinking past midnight. How do I get people who dislike me? How do I get people who hate me simply because of my nose and my face? Who hate me because of my...
about convening power.
Yes. When I think about that, I restrain myself. I reach out to those who disagree with me because that's leadership. We can't lead alone. I have told you I was in Kirinya in his constituency. He didn't know. Not at all.
His microphone is off.
Yeah, so I just want you to know the institutions of agriculture, the institutions in certification, the institutions in trade. That's why we brought together 5 ministries to create the food and agriculture law so that we can now clean our food and we have a good reputation.
Okay.
Finally, we are raising money outside to do aggregation centers, 4 across the country, so that you have a RUA specific for minerals, you have Mubende specific for a particular product. To do that, we will need data and analytics with young people. That will really take away the fact that I have an order of 100,000 metric tons of sesame and I only get 10,000. We are next week. We are starting work on all the 45 trade agreements that we've done.
You don't seem to have time for response.
Oscar, we've done 45 trade agreements since 1962. We are the ones looking out for what did Sabia do, looking out for what did Korea do, so that we are able to bring to marshal resources and support
to
change our country.